And my Matumi.
No!
When I grow up, I want to be a Matumi.
Hello and welcome to President's Quarters. Today we're going to be discussing an important topic. Basically, how to know which course to do at Varsity. Most of you, having applied, you would have chosen 3 to 4 choices, which depend on which university you're at. And hopefully the choices you've made are basically diversified and are not in the same faculty or school or line of thought. Why? It's because mostly if it is in the same school or same field of study, the problem is that the requirements you find are similar. So for example, if you applied for electrical engineer, chemical engineer and mechanical engineer, the requirements are mostly the same. So most likely if you get rejected in one, most likely going to get rejected in all 3. Again, it's because some of these courses, they're quite similar. They share the same courses in first year mostly, and you specialized into your 3rd and 4th year. That's when you specifically do electrical, you specifically do mining, you specifically do chemical. But in the 1st and 2nd year, it's more or less the same thing, and that is why they can reject in all 3 at the same time. But before we go deep into things, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like and share. Especially if you were grade 12 coming into 1st year. Even if you're grade 12, you need to learn this going into next year, which would be your 1st year. But this is 1st year diary, where I want to teach you the basic tenements of going into varsity. But before we go any further, follow me. I just want to show you something very important. Masambe. This room hosts 120 to 140 students. Now, which 129 or 119 more you're going to be attending with is one of the most important decisions of your entire existence. Keep watching and I'll tell you and teach you how to choose the right lecture hall. Woo. Enjoyed that young vlog moment, and I intentionally did exactly that just to make this video a lecture room, and also a key one, it is tutorial room. So tutorial rooms mostly reflect what you're used to being in a classroom where it's like 30 or 40 of you guys. But now when we talk about lecture room, it's much more bigger, and at the same time, at one time, you attending to with more than 100 people, depending on which institution you're at. Some can go up to 200 one lecture hall, right? Some maybe take less, some take more. Some are fancy, some are not. Either way, it's important to choose the right lecture hall. Choosing the right course even determines the type of books you would need to be carrying around, determines the amount of volume of work you're going to be doing. See, there is nothing more painful where university in itself or space of higher learning is challenging, right? And you are fighting again the difficulty of the course, and on top of that, you are in the wrong field. It would be painful that you always going into class with the wrong group of people. And by the wrong group, I mean, you're passionate about something else. You love medicine, for example, but the whole year you'll be chilling with mechanical engineering students or chemical engineering students. And those are the people you're attending every single day with, simply because you chose mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, one form of engineering, or accounting, but yet your heart is with medicine. Or you find you chose medicine where your heart is with accounting. Now I'm going to share key things now before you go choose which one of the 3 or 4 you applied to and hopefully got all accepted to all of them. I'm going to share key things that you need to think about. Make sure it's a tick in each of them in determining which course to pursue. Whatever course you choose, may you have enthusiasm for it. Because if you do not have enthusiasm for the course that you want to do, meaning when you think about it now, like whatever course you want to do, you think about it, if it's medicine, it coming to your mind, you must get excited. That's the first thing. Because a lot of people go and say, hey, sizobona phambili, tabana kopeli, we'll see forward, we'll see how things go, and what they see, it's nothing short of horror, right? So if you have enthusiasm for the subject, that means you'll have the passion for it. That means you easily are inclined to study it. If you don't have the enthusiasm for it, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard doing it, and it's gonna be hard for you in varsity. But here are my key things that I think is important for you to note. Number 1, the course that you must choose out of the 3 of the 4, it must be something that has purpose. So you must align the course you want to choose with your purpose on earth. Now, many of us would ask, how do I know something is my purpose? The easiest answer, Steve Harvey once said, is what are you naturally inclined, without being told, without being pushed, without anyone doing anything? What are you naturally inclined in your heart? What naturally burns in your heart to do? Are you naturally inclined to heal people? Are you naturally inclined to build stuff? So it is important to check, what am I naturally inclined with? Some of you from a young age, you liked breaking down stuff. You liked taking the radio, open it, put it there. Some of you, when you were playing with dolls, you just copy the doctor using a stethoscope, maybe use a stick to listen to the heart. You find TV wise, some of you liked your learning channel, some of you like those medicine channels, some of you like the accounting channel, some like the economics channels. And even if you didn't understand what was happening, but you just had this natural inclination to always check that out. So check, what do you naturally have the burn, the fire, the inclination to do naturally without much. Do you love being a leader? For me, that was one thing that always burnt in my heart, that I need to play an active role in making South Africa better. I always played with the name Mr. President. It's not by mistake even this channel is called President's Quarters. Maybe one day I'll explain where the name comes from. Right? What do you have the natural inclination to do? And whatever course you want to choose, you must align it to the purpose. Yes, let's say for example, leadership for me is a core of my purpose. There is no course literally called leadership course. But the course I chose, I linked it to my purpose. I said, okay, how does being a chartered accountant still allow you to lead and effect change? And my answer was, it will expose me to skill sets in the finance world, in the business world, in the entrepreneurial world, in the strategic world, in the complex problem solving world, right? It will expose me to those worlds, and that knowledge, that content will allow me to play an active role in changing South Africa one way or another, right? Or business in general. So that is how I linked my purpose, because honestly, things like, oh, I'm in love with the course, or passion, they burn out. There are times where it gets super hard, or passion, even when you look for them, you won't find them, right? But if you have a purpose for it, another key thing about purpose is you must be solving a problem somewhere, somehow. So for me, the problem is South Africa is in a bad state in different capacities, right? From a leadership point of view. So when I study, this course will allow me, right, to be able to actively solve the problems or play an active role in solving the problems the country has. So whatever course you choose, there must be a certain problem that you are envisioning to solve by doing it. Even if it's just being a musician, maybe you think this music or whatever course, dance class, acting, let's now vary, architecture, what other courses are there, scientist, whatever course, you must be actively studying it with intent to solve a certain problem or play a role in solving a problem in the world. If you can't imagine yourself doing that, then you have a problem. So the one that's closest to this, your purpose, it's most likely the course you need to choose. Secondly, it is you need to imagine or be able to imagine yourself doing that type of job. So I hope you've done some form of research into the courses that you've chosen, right? So that you get an idea, maybe watch YouTube channels on, okay, how does an accountant look like? Doctor, what do they do, right? Or just to do your research somewhere or another. Ask your teachers, ask different people to get a bit of context of what that course requires, right? Google it, find out more about it. And you need to be able to imagine yourself doing that type of job. You see, for me, the imagination, the idea of being a CA always fascinated my mind. Even when marks were not coming okay, that imagination, just being able to imagine myself addressing companies and people and giving them solutions and strategies, always excited my mind. It always reignited some form of hope. See, if you're able to imagine it, hope will never burn out. But the problem is when you don't even see yourself as that doctor, like, I don't know why I'm doing this course. I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? That image disappearing in your head makes it harder for you to continue studying. So be able to imagine yourself, right, being a qualified person in whatever course you want to choose. You see, if you take notice, marks I haven't mentioned, and they're literally the third thing you need to look at. Because I've found people, let's say because I engage with a lot of people doing accounting, I've found people asking them, saying, why are you doing this course? And like, in high school, I was good in accounting. I got a distinction in accounting. And my friend, let me tell you the truth. Sometimes even the worst performing students are the ones who did accounting in accounting. And that's why they're opening it up to say, even if you don't have accounting, you have your science, you have your maths, basically, you're allowed to come do accounting. Because accounting is not bookkeeping that you did in high school. What you did in high school is bookkeeping, is not accounting. So a lot of people say, no, I got a distinction, that's why I'm doing it. For the fact of a distinction in something, varsity is a whole new ball game. It doesn't mean you'll be good at it. And that's why I make it the third. If you can't imagine yourself as whatever the professional you want to be, and if you do not have purpose that will always drive you, and the only thing you're banking on is marks as an indicator, my friend, you are more likely going to make the wrong decisions. and you're going to struggle in choosing a course, or you're going to struggle in your course in university, right? See, enthusiasm, imagination, your purpose always gives you hope every single time. So for me, those are the reflection points. Ask yourself, what do I see myself doing? What problem am I solving for the world, for the country, for your family, right? What is my purpose? Do I imagine myself as that? And my marks. See, if you have good marks, that's very good because it opens doors for you. You can literally are flexible in choosing whatever course you want. So even if you have your 7 distinctions, right, you're not forced to go into your medicine and then you can go and do arts because you qualify. But for someone who has level 4s throughout, that person, no matter what they can imagine, their options are limited. You see? So that is why it's important that marks become the last thing to check, right? Because if you have your level 4s or level 5s, then you can look at, okay, what do I have my natural inclination towards? Can I imagine myself? What problem am I solving? You ask yourself those questions that I've put up in this video. And then if you're able to answer them, that's how you should elect or choose a course. For me, there were times it was difficult. But the imagination of seeing myself as the CEO of a big company one day, the imagination of solving and playing an active role in solving some of the issues of the country, right? My purpose in choosing this course helped me a lot in grinding it out. I have a friend or someone I just know. She always talks about, and always speak what you want to become. She always speaks about, I want to one day be the Reserve Bank governor, right? Now that person, sometimes they went through some form of difficulty during their course of studies. But the idea and the vision and the picture of seeing themselves as a governor always kept them alive when things were difficult. So number 1, have purpose, solve a problem, right? Have enthusiasm for the course. Even by just thinking about it, must be excited. Even if it happens you fail a year, you'll have energy to come back. You see? Be able to fight every single time. So those are my key indicators, friends. As I took you through the tour of lecture rooms and tutorial rooms, I hope you will choose the right lecture room, the right tutorial room, the right type of students to surround you every single day. So, friends, I hope this adds value into your space. Do reflect about it. Do think about it so that you can make the right choice. Please do share, like, and subscribe because it would hurt me so much. Honestly, it would hurt me if someone comes across this channel 6 months into the year and you've watched this video and many more other videos and you didn't share, you didn't tell anyone. It would hurt me that person comes in 6 months later and say, I wish I saw this video. I wish I saw your channel earlier. I would have made a better decision. Let's add value into each other's spaces. Let us grow each other. Let us become better. Otherwise, Ndorobua, Gyaleboga, Tovela, Danki, Baya Danki, Diabulela, Gyabonga. Muchas gracias. Merci. My friends, enjoy the rest of your year and let us grow President's Quarters. This is your home of tools. Thank you.